welcome to Coconut TV. I have the honor to have back on the show motivational speaker, life coach, guru, relationship specialist, on and on and on. Kute Blackson in the house. Thank you for being with us again.
Good to be back.
What a wonderful treat.
I'm a regular on Coconut TV.
I know you are. We just love you here.
That's right.
Last week I interviewed Gary Renard. He wrote The Disappearance of the Universe. He's a best-selling author, and we were talking about forgiveness and being responsible. And that's what I want to share, and I want you to share today with us, is that it's always an inside job.
Right.
We're always trying to manipulate and create a relationship or create money outside, and I want you to talk to us more about that. It is an inside job.
Yeah, I mean, everything, to me, ultimately the external is a reflection of the internal. So the outer world is really a reflection of our own internal. So we're often trying to change all these things outside, but we really only have so much control over the government, and so much control over the weather, and so much control over the cars driving, so much control over the ants, so much control over your husband. Even our kids, there's only so much control we have. But what we really can control, at least have some control over, is ourselves. And I find as you shift yourself, as you heal yourself, as you clear yourself, as you purify yourself, as you release the baggage and the wounds and the identities and the illusions from yourself, the belief systems that no longer serve, then it shifts your relationship to yourself, but it also shifts your relationship to life. And life begins to mirror back to you what you are. So I kind of say we're always really in relationship with ourselves. So if you want to shift the outside, shift the inside. Because the outside is just a manifestation and a mirror of what's going on in here. And not just that, but our nervous system, which stores everything, is the filter that takes the external stimulus from the outside and filters everything. So based on all this, and every single thing that's ever happened to us is stored in our nervous system: pain, trauma, challenges, perceptions, all of that stuff from childhood. So the more junk we have within us that's not dealt with, then we will perceive what's going on out here as reality, and will perceive and create a reality based on really what's going on in here. Mm-hmm. So there really is no out there, there's only in here that's reflected out there. So in that sense, we create our reality.
Exactly. We're the cause, and that's the effect. We think it's the other way around.
But in a sense, we create our reality based on how we perceive what's going on out there inside of ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't create the sun, but we create the reality of any given situation based on our own internal experience, interpretation, and perception. So the more we're able to deal with the inside, even if the outside physically doesn't change, our experience of what's outside can shift. Our experience of what's going on out here can totally transform itself.
It does. I always share on the channel that the way to be able to cultivate that is a daily spiritual practice.
Yes.
And to find something that works for you. What tools and tips do you have for the audience in reference to spiritual daily practice, and if you feel that is important?
I think meditation is important. Ultimately there's people, let's get this, there's people that have never meditated and woken up and had an experience of just pure grace flowing. So I don't think there's just one way. I think there's many different ways, but I think if we're doing a talk as a foundation, I think meditation is important because it moves the mind from the surface of all the external stimulus, and it moves our awareness inside, out of all this stuff outside. The external moves our awareness inside to a deeper dimension of our own being, to a deeper dimension of our own consciousness, where we start tapping into the truth of who we are, our own consciousness. And I think when we tap into the truth of who we are, which is unchanging, the truth of who we are, which is, a radiation from the center of our own being, then it gives us a whole different relationship to what's going on out here. It gives us a whole different relationship to dealing from a place of centeredness, from a place of groundedness, from a place of unmovable, strength. It gives us that strength to deal with all the fluctuating changes of life from a place of power, from a place of freedom, from a place of clarity. And that's why I think it's important to cultivate that daily meditative practice of just dropping into that space, dropping into pure being, dropping into consciousness, dropping into the sort of transcendental part of ourselves, beyond the mind, beyond the thoughts. Because we often get caught up on the level of the mind and the thoughts, and we hold on and identify with all the surface things. I'm my thoughts, and every thought that goes by, everything that happens, we're kind of identifying with that. So when we can go beyond that and kind of loosen our identification with our beliefs, our thoughts, our identity, and tap into a deeper identity, a deeper sense of who we are really, then we can see through the illusions of life and not be thrown off course by all the illusions of the mind and belief systems and thoughts and all of that stuff that just floats around up here that we often take so seriously. And the more seriously we take ourselves, the more seriously we take the identity, the more seriously we take all these thoughts and patterns and beliefs,
then it's a big, huge mess.
It's a big mess. That's to say that. That's a nice way of saying it.
So now you got it.
That is called hell.
That is called hell. Actually, the Course of Miracles, says hell. People think that hell and heaven is out there, but no, it's really here. When you're feeling like, I'm not gonna say it. You're in hell. You're in hell. And when you're feeling good, you're in heaven. It's quite easy. So you got it, audience. That it's important to meditate.
Meditate. And beyond the practice, I would say surrender. Surrender. I mean, ultimately, surrender. Just, surrender is just
trust. No,
it's trusting life. It's surrendering to life. It's letting go of just control.
I feel that sometimes why we feel like crap is because we want to control and we want things to
control
be our way.
Is the master addiction. Control is the master addiction.
I think we can all relate to that. Yeah.
No.
I love him. No, we're talking about love. I wanted to talk very briefly about relationships before we wrap it up. He is really good with relationships, ladies. So anytime you have any questions, feel free to email him. thebomb.com. I don't know what that is, but
we'll sign out.
Give us. Actually, you're going to start on Friday.
Yeah, we're launching the Man Breakthrough Experience, which is a 2.5-day seminar for women that is really about helping women decode men and transform the hidden blocks that keep them from finding love. And again, it's not about focusing out there, it's about assisting a woman to go inside within herself, to clear away whatever the layers, the baggage, the illusions are that are really coming in between her and the experience of love, her and attracting love, her and being loved fully within herself.
I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, I feel that when a woman is being loved, she's being loved. Often we're looking for love, but when you're being loved, then that's attractive. That is what's attractive beyond the technique or strategy that's attractive.
You're living it.
You are.
You're living it, because there's so much information with books or even listening to somebody speak, but when you are living that, that's what I feel makes a difference. That's what I think. Being a living expression of that. This was, because you have been here before, you're like, you're an expert. It's at the end, we always have a cocoism and affirmation for the week. And if you want to say it to the camera, and this is what I would love for everyone to have present throughout the week. It could be...
Sure. To have present, let me just download it. Let me just channel download it. You are a bold, magical incarnation of the divine. Pure and simple.
Pure and simple.
That's it.
That's all you need to know. And it's the truth. We just forget who we are. We just need to be reminded once in a while. So we had Kute here remind us today. We had the honor of him blessing us with that. And we love you. We love having you here. Coconut TV. I'll be sure that I'll put the information for the seminar that starts this Friday. And thank you so much for being with us here on Coconut TV. Have a blessed week filled with love and light. Until next time.